let's kick it off. Ready for the weekend, can't get enough. Got my crew, Mike, Paul, Joyce, ladies laugh. Zach and Lily bring the fun, we're on the path. It's the Name Topics Podcast, right? Electronic beats and friends by my side. Gaming news and tales we'll share. No better way to start a weekend flair. Turn it up, volume high. Nintendo vibes, flying sky. Press play, let's dive in deep. Catching all the secrets we keep. It's the Name Topics Podcast, right? Electronic beats and friends by my side. Gaming news and tales we'll share. No better way to start a weekend flair. Shoulders quick, stories flow. Laughs and smiles as we go. Every Friday night so bright. Name Topics Podcast feels so right. Flow. From Mario to Zelda quests. Talking all the games we love the best. Choices, insights, Zach's big grin. Lily's got the news, let's begin. It's the Name Topics Podcast, right? Electronic beats and friends by my side. Gaming news and tales we'll share. No better way to start a weekend flair. Controllers to story flow. Laughs and smiles as we go. Oh. Every Friday night so bright. Name Topics Podcast feels so right. Name Topic Podcast, all things Nintendo. Yeah!
Hi guys, how are y'all doing?
Welcome to the Nintendo Podcast, my friends. You made it. It is Friday. You know what that means, right? If you are listening to the Nintendo Podcast, you're watching, that means you've made it to the weekend, my friends. I want to be the first to congratulate you because you made it to the happiest place on earth.
Ooh.
And so today we got a great show for you all. But before, I want to go ahead and introduce the all-star cast, starting directly from the red carpet. Voice actor, art actor, Batman enthusiast, retro enthusiast, and pro Among Us player, Zach Attack Hendricks. What's up, Zach?
What is up, everybody? Glad to be here. Yeah, it is Friday, happiest day of the week, and I am excited because a certain game came out, which I do not own, but will be buying this weekend.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's
Metroid?
maybe.
Yeah, of course.
What's the time for, baby?
Also, my
Epic Mickey.
my 48-hour Epic Mickey. Oh boy. My 48-hour film is premiering right now in
Ooh.
Milwaukee or somewhere, which I clearly am not there. But that's pretty cool. And so I'm hoping that we take some top prizes because it's a competition.
Nice.
And yeah.
So it was appropriate for me to introduce you as red carpet Zach, right?
Yup.
There you go. You see?
Yeah, maybe green carpet. We'll graduate. One day.
the carpet is green. Okay, I get it. So yeah, you have a green cup too. That's good. That's good. All right. So continuing over to the MVP next door, straight from the Magic Kingdom himself. I think he was cutting Bowser's hair, and Paul, the Gale Network. How's that, Paul?
Pretty good. I mean, it's
It was a solid weekend going into week. My wife and I saw the Killers game. So if anybody is into something that's like a little bit of John Wick meets Kill Bill, that's kind of like the Killers game with Dave Bautista, former WWE wrestler, from Guardians of the Galaxy. Good movie. And then my son and I saw Transformers 1 on Sunday. Don't overlook it if you're like, yeah, but it's a kid's movie. It is so terrific. It is such a fantastic movie. I don't know who had more fun, my 9-year-old or me, but it was a really good movie. And then the PlayStation State of Play happened in the week, and we got a couple of surprises from that, so that was exciting.
Yeah.
I went to a women's soccer game at my university on Sunday, which is why I'm wearing this Most Valuable Professor, which I got. I won that, which was pretty nice, and that felt good to get acknowledged. And so, and then this week I've been playing a trio of Nintendo female-powered games.
Cool.
We've got 3 of them. We've got Samus, we've got Peach, and we've got one more. And I've decided to play all 3 different heroine games on Nintendo Switch this week. I'll leave it at that.
Nice.
That is awesome, and let's go over to Hyrule with really the princess of Hyrule.
Thank you, but no, I don't have such pleasure. But hello.
We just live here.
Yeah, we just live here. Yeah, totally different. Like that'll be an honor to be Princess of Hyrule, but no, that's not the case. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to another New Topics podcast. I have a lot to share with you guys. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time, so we're just gonna leave it for probably next week. Perhaps. Yeah. So it has been a very, very amazing week, to be honest with you. And yes, I have been playing, and yes, it is Echoes of Wisdom, but that's all I'm gonna say. And what are the other things? Like I got a bunch of packages in the mail, and I also just recently got the Twilight Princess box set of all the mangas. So I love the art that's on the entire box. I thought it was gonna be bigger, to be honest with you, but I think it was pretty nice. Too. Yeah, because the other chest is actually very big, but I know that these ones are paperback; they're not hardcover. But it does include an exclusive poster drawn by Akira Himekawa. So, that's one of the things that I'm excited about. Yeah. I didn't do much last weekend because my car broke down, and it's gonna stay like that for a month until I come up with the cash to fix it. So it's been an interesting week.
That is awesome. Well, after the podcast, I'll give you my address. You can just send me the box. Sure. Yeah. That's all I want is the box. Absolutely. The box is amazing.
The box is amazing.
Yep, that's it.
So, moving over to the correspondent of the official correspondent of everything Hyrule, Joycey J. Over to you, Joycey J.
Hello, good evening. I am Joycey J. And I promise I'm not playing anything. I am not playing anything at all. Plastic is still on. And I got some new shelf art, of course. Had to get some good shelf art.
Nice.
Really good shelf art.
I wonder what it looks like. I'm too bad I'll never know because I'm not opening the box.
Wait, can
you pass
I'm not going to use it.
Josie, can you pass that to me, please?
I can pass you a little gift I got myself.
Let me get that box. The
do the box thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here you go, Mike. Hold on. Oh, wait, that's Lily's house. Okay, hold on.
Aww.
The box?
Huh?
It's in the bag.
It's in the bag.
You gotta take it out of the bag.
So
will it work now?
Right.
If I just
Right.
Try. Yeah, okay. It worked.
Cool.
I wanted that, Joycey.
So
okay, I'll send you this one.
Here, both of you just drop it.
Out of my head.
I got this.
But I have to show you guys because I even thought of you guys when I was buying it and almost getting put out of GameStop for buying everything.
Yeah.
So I got a nice little mug. This is not, anybody who knows me knows I drink way more coffee than this, but it's beautiful. And I'm just going to put it, and it came in this beautiful tin. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I'm going to use it for something. So, but I cannot wait to start playing a certain game that will remain nameless as of right now.
The Wisdom. Dang it, he beat me.
I will be playing The Wisdom over the weekend, and I've already seen a very, very little bit of actual gameplay that was not in trailers, and I have so many thoughts about it, and I am going to tell you guys.
The Wisdom. My God, next week will be a crazy podcast, guys. 100% Zelda podcast coming next week, Friday. You have to be here. We will spill some of the beans, not all the beans, but at least the beginning of the game beans, and so it's gonna be a fun podcast. So hopefully everybody that owns the game right now is caught up to at least some of the game, so that we can talk about it freely on next week's podcast.
At least play the intro.
Imagine the Switch 2 fully leaks an hour before the podcast next week.
Man, well, it might fully leak during this podcast. So,
yeah. If anybody's gonna leak it, can you do it right now? Because next week we're talking about Zelda. We won't have time.
Let's do that.
Priorities.
And thank you so much for Boomini for gifting.
Thank you, Boomini.
The tradition of every podcast. You are amazing. Thank you so much for that gift. I appreciate it. And of course, let's see here. Somebody else claimed it. So welcome. Stream Elements.
Miss Rally.
I was gonna say Stream Elements. You're not allowed to do that. You're a bot. But welcome, Miss Rally, to the Odyssey. I hope you enjoy all the little things that come with being a member of the Odyssey. By the way, it also includes a question to be included within the podcast as well. So
yeah. It was very nice because he was. It was the last message received, and then boom, he got the membership. So it's really nice.
So that is awesome. All right, my friends. So I'm guessing a lot of you are here early to see what we got here. And if you looked at my video earlier today, you probably know that my hands are shaking because I've never been in a position this crazy to have these images that you're about to see here on the show. And so, I'm like, you know what? The people deserve it. The people deserve it. If the video gets shut down, then so be it. But the people deserve to see the truth.
Give the people what they want.
And you have to be strong enough to ask these questions.
Yes. And I shall give you the truth. You can't handle the truth. Then you're going to take the truth. Anyway. So
what movie, Mike? It's live.
Legend of Zelda, the truth.
The truth. The wisdom. All right. So I wish I had
it's truth.
It's next week. It's not this week. I was going to put some Zelda music in the background, but it's not this week. It's next week. This week.
Wait a minute. You didn't say we couldn't have no Zelda music now. Come on now. Let's have some Zelda music. We just playing it in the background.
Yeah.
Do I have something?
I vote for yes.
Joyce is like, my actual heartbeat is the drum line for the Zelda music. Like,
yes, it is. I totally need it.
And also to clarify why we're not talking about Zelda is that for you guys to be able to play it, no spoilers, please. And also because there is a huge news about the Nintendo Switch 2. So
yes. And we
priorities.
For the first time, the podcast has some exclusive news on Nintendo Switch 2. Original images that originate here on our channel, and then hopefully it'll spread. But because I think it's the first HD images of what the actual system could look like. I want to say could and rumor, just so I can protect myself. Could, rumor, and all everything sprinkle around. But because we know we got that 3D printout from the YouTuber lady on her side, but we never got the 4K images of the actual system. So without further ado, I've
Drum roll, please.
when her images came out, I was keeping it quiet, and I said, you know what, I actually have to talk to you guys because I'm getting access to some files. Didn't know how to take it when I first saw the files, which was this week. I went nuts just because I just fell in love with how beautiful it looked, and I'm just can't wait to see it, like the real thing. If it turns out to look exactly like this, because CAD files are images that are sent to accessory makers so that they can have their own little 3D printout and then try their accessories to make sure they fit well, make sure that all the vents are not covered, all the little trinkets are visible when you add a case and so on, right? And so I happen to get access to some files that they use for accessories, and that's where I'm going to leave it. But I want to show you. I'm going to show you quite now. Let me get this file ready here. And so I want to get you guys' opinions on okay, so I have an STL file. Those of you who print 3D or have been in the 3D printing world and know about it, you know what that means. I also have a 3MF file, which is the two files that manufacturers get to make their mock-ups and stuff. But I also have images, renders of the system that I'm about to share right now. And I before you say, Mike, you didn't take off the bezels, that was on purpose, because if I add a little bit of bezel, then that automatically kind of says, oh yeah, that's not the exact system, and so that protects me. But you're getting as close of a visual of the system as I can provide. Certain things we gotta change so that we can kind of protect ourselves and not be able to not break the law. But boom, there you are. This is the first image of the system, and it's in complete high resolution. You can see there, it's a if we look at it, anybody else want to point out something? Anybody in the chat? Anybody in the crew?
One thing I do notice, surprisingly, is that they click in instead of slide in, and I think you guys talked about that before.
So
they click in.
Yeah, so they instead of having a slide through here, we see that this part here protrudes out like that, and then they kind of, man, I don't want to see attach, because then Nintendo will listen to me and call it the Nintendo Switch Attach. I don't want that. Nintendo Switch Magneto from X-Men.
I like that the shoulder bumpers are so pronounced. We can even see them from this front view.
Oh yeah, for sure. And of course, you can see the extra button that Nintendo added there, presumably added there. And so in the original leak, it has a C on it. Nobody knows what it stands for. Capture, camera, whatever. We don't know what it stands for, but we know that we do have an extra button down below. As you can look at the buttons, isn't it more pronounced than this? It's more pronounced. It's like so out there, which I love. Right? It's the contrast is so in you, like the white and the black. So I love the fact that the buttons are bigger, they're more pronounced. This is the first image here. I want to know what you guys think in the chat. What stands out to you? I know it looks like a Nintendo Switch. I mean, that's the whole point. I think Nintendo is giving us an upgraded version of the Nintendo Switch, of a highly successful system that they don't really have to do much on. And so, as I look up the next images, Paul, you wanna share your thoughts?
Depending on how close it is to the final model, what they're working with is quite a good, sleek looking system. I mean, the buttons being bigger, I think, are going to benefit more people than not. I don't think they'll be too big for smaller hands, but they will be better for bigger hands. Analog sticks that are a little bit protruding out more, perhaps, but also bigger in circumference might be all right. Could they have extra tech within them? I mean, that's what we're all speculating, right? Like, does it have any kind of resistance? I mean, being bigger would seemingly make that a possibility, but we'll see. I do like that the thing seemingly snaps in and then releases by a button press that's a little bit different than the rail system. But what we're working with is pretty cool. I wonder though if it will be the final color scheme that Nintendo goes with, because I would kind of want them to do something different visually to further distance it, that nobody's like, oh, I have that white one already. The OLED one. No, this is different. Oh, I have the gray one. So I don't think they should make one at launch that's red and blue. I think pick two different colors to make it different. You could sell red and blue Joy-Con version 2 separately, but don't make that one of the pack-ins. Make the white ones available separately, but don't make that one of the pack-ins, because that one was done with the OLED model. Or if it is white, I wouldn't mind colored buttons personally, but so many people these days are more concerned about how it looks like in the entertainment center and not like the bedroom. Whereas me, I'm like, dude, color up my living room. I don't care. But, those are just some other thoughts. But what we have looks, really nice. And it looks like, depending on how close it is, we're going to have a pretty cool piece of hardware, something pretty slick.
Yeah. It seems like it would look good if it was like that tuxedo black. You know how it's like black, but all the outlines are really strong and white. I think if they want to go with not color like pop colors, then I think that would be enough to differentiate, because that tuxedo style stands out on its own already. So, but yeah, Nintendo, just do colors, just pinks and blues and reds, and just
give me my translucent shell.
and give Zach his translucent shell.
Yeah, and there's one thing here that I'm not sure if anybody noticed. At least with this version, I didn't see it with the version that the YouTubers shared. In this version, you can tell that the actual console is a lot more squared off, right? Here, the corners are more squared off than, I think maybe because of the rails, because it doesn't have any rails on it, and it has like the intrusion, like that little slot for the controllers. But you can see the top of it. You can see that it's very squared off. If I can get I have the version of the Nintendo Switch here, and it's very rounded. It's very rounded. The corners are very rounded from front to back. I'm not sure if you can see it there, but no, you can't see it there. But this part here, instead of being rounded, if you have a Nintendo Switch with you, you can see that it's kind of rounded instead of kind of flat, and then flat here. This system is a rectangle, like a flat top, flat on the sides. Of course, you can see the rockers, the vent on the outside, and of course the USB-C port. This one is the mysterious port, and of course we know we have a mysterious. There's a mystery addition accessory, something extra. We don't know whether it's an accessory, a dock, a camera, whatever it is. It's something that Nintendo is releasing for the first time. It has a 001 serial code, meaning it's the first accessory or first product of its kind from Nintendo. And we know that it's out there because of the FCC filings, but we don't know what it is yet. A lot of people are speculating that it has something to do with this USB-C port, right? Could be a camera, could be a microphone. Who knows? Then we have, of course, the audio jack here, right? I would love for this to also be a multifaceted little USB-C thing, like a data cable, where you can actually put in USB-C headphones to get a better quality audio. I know there's some USB-C headphones that have like the surround sound and everything, really cool. Could be compatible with this, and so hopefully that's the case. Any thoughts on this part of the Switch, crew?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So we have to the right of the USB-C. That's the headphone port.
Assume that's assume.
Yeah,
We don't know.
What is to the left of the vents?
Because you see
Can we
here,
zoom in on those?
Yeah, let's do it. Because
those little holes there are the buttons.
Yeah, the holes right next to the bed.
Yeah, the hole's right next to the vents.
all right, so let me see if we can zoom. Let me know if it's zooming in.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So I don't think that port on the right is a headphone jack, and I'm actually pretty excited about what I'm seeing. Give me 3 seconds to grab a piece of camera gear so I can explain better.
Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. You're right, because it's the same size on each side. It's kind of similar size.
Yeah. But circling back to what Paul said about hopefully that's not going to be like the colors. I'm very, very curious until Nintendo drops the actual new official logo, because I don't know what color scheme they're going to be using. Because honestly, when you see Nintendo Switch, like the actual logo,
that's fun.
You recognize that it's a Nintendo Switch. Now, how Nintendo is going to be handling this so that people recognize that that's a Nintendo Switch 2, or in this case, the successor, right? So that kind of intrigues me.
I agree. And guys, you can see how high resolution this image is. That look at the detail. Right? You can't really see the detail. You couldn't see this detail before. And what Zach pointed out was go ahead, Zach. I'll let you take it from here.
So I opened a box of camera gear, pulled out the thing, and it was empty. I don't know if you can see this. But so basically what I'll explain, I'll try and just, I don't know if we can see this or not. So not really. So when something attaches to camera equipment, and I'm just using that as an example, where there's accessories that you tack on, take off, tack on, take off. At the bottom, you maybe can roughly see the shape. Or maybe if you full screen me for a second, I can point it out a little better.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
There's the part that actually connects, and usually with camera gear, it's either screwing in or it's like a cold shoe mount, which just means it's something that plugs into something else. But then there's 2 little nubs. There's a nub here and a nub here, and this is for like all attachments. And what those nubs do is you have the main part that's attaching, usually a screw, sometimes it plugs in, but then those pegs, for lack of a better term, basically stabilize whatever you're attaching and lock it into place. Yeah. And so if we go back to the image of the Switch and we see the circle on the left, all the way to the left and all the way to the right on the vents are the same size.
Let me go back to
almost there.
We're almost there.
Remove.
This is what happens when you have breaking.
Exit. There we go. Exit solo.
The fact that those images are those circles are the same size, and it does look like there is a bottom on them. Yeah. Leads me to believe that those are stabilization things for something that is going to be wide. So whatever this attachment is to not cover the vents probably has to have its own vents going through it. And so it's going to be stabilized on the left and right side of the vents, which means you're looking at an attachment or maybe multiple attachments that are like this wide that are taking up.
Oh my God. You just said attach. So what if the gimmick is switch attach? You get a lot of accessories you can attach to the top. A screen, a second screen you can attach to there. It'll plug in here, right? And then these little 2-hole thing there would serve to kind of make it steady, right? A camera also could be. That's what I'm saying. I hope this USB-C part here is not just. It's a data one, right? It's a data one. That way, first thing you can charge it. You can add a camera to it. You can add audio. You can use it as a headphone jack. You can also add a screen to it and project out as well, right? So there could be many things, but what Zach pointed out was that these little holes here play a bigger part, and I think that's the first time I've actually heard that out of anyone, because we all thought that this was a headphone jack. Maybe this is the new headphone jack, but it also plays other. It does
roles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like even new phones, they don't even have the 3.5 millimeter plug anymore. Yeah. So it kind of makes sense that people are not going to have those kind of headsets. Well, not everybody, of course, but a vast majority won't have those kind of headsets. And of course, the Nintendo Switch already supports Bluetooth, so you can connect Bluetooth headsets, certain ones, but you can. So yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah, and also too, a headphone jack is only a couple millimeters. And for reference, a USB-C port, I just Googled it to make sure I was right. The thickness of a USB-C port is 2.6 millimeters.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
the circle to the left of the vents very well could be a headphone jack, but the bigger circles do seem too big
You mean
because
this one right
you
here?
can see
This
that they're
one?
thicker than the USB-C port by a decent amount.
Yeah, you're right. There is an extra little one here that could actually be a USB regular headphone jack. But yeah, you're right. These two are symmetrical. They're right. They're very centered. If we let's zoom back a little bit. Okay, let me see here. Bear with me, my friends. If we zoom back, we can see here that they are very centered. They're centered. You see those two holes here. They are very well centered here. Yeah, for those of you asking about the bezel, that's done on purpose. That's done on purpose just for for protection reasons. But you can see here it's a high quality image. You can see look, you can see the pores on purpose up. You can see the protrusions and everything there. And the buttons.
Yeah, so notice too on the where you had the two circles that were next to each other.
Yeah, this one.
The smaller one we cannot see the bottom of. Where the one on the left and on the right we can see the bottom of it.
Yeah, I can see that. It's more like for support for whatever plugs in there. So, man, that's a good one. It's a good one. Good one, Zach.
Also, those shoulder bumpers or triggers are thick.
It could just be that it's not a final image, but normal Nintendo Switch Joy-Con have 2 buttons each. This only has one, instead of L and R and ZL, ZR. This just has one fat R, one fat L, where I don't think Nintendo's going to go backwards and not have 4 total shoulder buttons.
Yeah.
Do you think it could be oh, sorry, Mike.
No, I think it does have 2. It's just not visible here. I think it's like towards the back here. But yeah.
Do you think it could be a D-pad type situation where the D-pad's obviously more than one button, but just for the sake of rocking back and forth, maybe Nintendo decided, you know what, lifting your finger off of the trigger to the bumper is too much. It's like a waste of movement. Like you can just rock it back to the bumper. I don't know. I'm more just trying to take it at face value and think, well, what if it is? What would the decision behind that be?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at a regular controller, I have one right here somewhere. Yeah, they both have 4 buttons. So I'm guessing Nintendo has also. I don't have the back of these images, just have the front. Let's look at the other ones. There, this one has a little more. Let's see here. Sharing here. Over there. I think this is the one that I'm sharing now. Okay. So here we have another side here. So looking at the actual Joy-Cons on the side, remember the guys, these are CAD images. This one seems to be in color. But one thing that Nintendo did here is make these little tabs here a lot bigger. So so that when you play, you can actually click it, because I don't one of the things that people were complaining about is that for the regular Joy-Cons, these things were you couldn't really use them well unless you had the little construction, the little clicky thingy.
And you could put it on backwards.
Yeah.
Right. And also I'm not sure if this has happened to you with your Nintendo Switch, but when you're playing the Switch handheld and after, usage and all of that, because the console itself is heavier compared to the Joy-Cons, because they're very, the plastic is very, very lightweight. Sometimes I have this problem where if I'm not sitting properly and I have the Nintendo Switch a little bit upwards, I can feel that the Joy-Cons are not well secured, and I can also I have this kind of problem where the Joy-Cons keep disconnecting. So I need to be flattened in an actual table for me to be able to play without any problems. That being said, I'm using the Legend of Zelda Joy-Con, so I'm not sure if this happened to you, but that gives me a lot more assurance that that's not going to happen. But I was also a little bit concerned with the fact that if that plastic that we're seeing right now isn't long enough, will they click out or will they stay secure? I guess that was one of my major concerns at the moment.
Yeah. We know that it's magnetically connected. It's electromagnet, so it's controlled by
Yeah,
power.
yeah, it's true. Mhm.
And so, Paul, just to answer your question, this is a double thing here. They just make this thicker. This one is a lot
Yeah.
thicker, and then you can see the second one. Maybe what they did was just remove the gap that you see here between the back trigger, and the back trigger looks to be a little bigger, so maybe it clicks down more instead of just being clicky here. You can feel that maybe it's more of a trigger like it is with a Pro controller or even the PlayStation 5 controller. For the Nintendo Switch, what I never liked was that the trigger in the back wasn't really a trigger, but just a little button, like a clicky button, you know? So
They
maybe
haven't had an analog trigger since GameCube.
yeah.
That was one of the best triggers ever because that one actually it served as 2 buttons in one. I mean, if you stopped here, that was a button, and if you had a full depressing of it, then it had a second functionality.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Man, I love these buttons. As a legally blind person, my friends, this is your best friend. This is my best friend. These buttons right here, because I can when it's a black background with a white letter and it's so bolded like that, it's very easy to see, easy to read. Not just for me, but for everybody. You know, it's easy to read from a black background with white letters. That's why we have dark mode to make it easier on our eyes. But I love the fact that they're so pronounced and so like there, right? So yeah, the back we can see here, this back right here, you see this little button in the back. I'll show you. I can show you in the actual. Maybe I'll do. I'm still debating whether I will show you the STL files because I can show you the STL files and just go around like in 3D form, but it has no color to it because it's a file that is to be printed. But I can still show you. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. If I'm gonna go all out, I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna even show you the files. I'll do that. Let's get the files. Okay, so let's go over these last 2 images before I jump over to the actual file that you guys can see. The last 2 images here. This one looks really cool, right? Very cool. I don't know about this image, but I love this image that's kind of, you know, the black and gray kind of, you know, what's that color called? I know there's like a
grayscale.
Grayscale. There you go. It's like a grayscale Nintendo Switch 2. I know that the rumor says that people saw this logo with the number 2 next to it in the back. We have the Nintendo Switch here, and this is what it would look like with the screen. Again, the bezels are there for my protection and for everything else. So who knows? It could be even up to here because apparently we have almost no bezel on the system. Again, all rumors, all speculation. We'll see once Nintendo releases the final product, we'll probably see. But these are CAD files. These are images made for accessory makers so that they can have a better understanding how the system will look, how to design for the system as well, because we know that they need to have some kind of visual, not just the CAD files or the STL files, but they need to have some kind of visual representation so that they know what to design, how to design it, not so they overshadow a lot of the features and the look of the system. So that's one of the images. Go ahead.
I do want to point out too that this CAD file could be, so when you're working in 3D, there's a few different views you can render in. You can always render in a wireframe.
Yeah.
You can render in grayscale. You can render in full color, not accurate lighting, or you can render in full color, accurate lighting.
Yeah.
And so these images, this technically might not be a black and white Switch. It probably is, but just kind of seeing the graphic on the screen is kind of making me wonder.
Yeah, because that
could just be
phase,
rendered in grayscale for the purpose of that accomplishes the purpose if this is for accessory makers and case makers and whatnot.
Yeah. Guys,
So
I did
just
not
a
make
thought.
this. I'm not that talented. I'm not this talented. So, but yeah, I mean, I agree because I can see the different types of gray here, right there, you know. So yeah. Any thoughts, ladies?
I do have one question because I'm not sure about this. Y'all know I'm not tech savvy at all. So I know nothing's confirmed, but
Mhm.
do you all think it plays Zelda?
If you
I
remember
was
last
expecting
week,
Let's
I
do a
think that's
poll.
the
Does
one
anybody-
sacrifice.
I was expecting that question.
I was not.
I don't
You were
know.
super serious, Tracy.
Those are the great actors, by the way. Great actors.
I'm so super serial right now. I just wanted to play Zelda.
So I guess hopefully Nintendo doesn't cancel the Zelda series for Switch 2. Can you imagine? Sorry, Zelda's canceled for good. Echoes of Wisdom was the finale game of the series, so no more games until who knows when. Yeah, that's the deal.
I can. Well, I will say this. I can, and depending on what Switch 2 is and all that other jazz, I can see it coming out at the end of the generation. That has happened before.
You mean like the Zelda, the big Zelda, the big Zelda game?
The big Zelda game. Yeah, the big El Grande. Yeah.
What?
El Grande.
It was Sky. See, I get on here with y'all trying to have a respectable professional conversation about gaming.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I come to y'all for respectability politics.
I held it in until
You're red. You know
Until
that?
Lily
You're actually
was
very
like my-
red right now.
Lily like verbalized my intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, yep.
The second I was just like, I lose. The dam is broken.
No,
But
don't do
yeah,
that.
that has happened before. I think it was Skyward Sword or was it Twilight Princess? It was one of them that came out. It was Skyward Sword that came out at the end of the generation.
Man.
So
Okay,
I'm-
so
that won't happen.
I have to be honest with you guys. I feel like I'm getting a little bit nervous with the fact that we all predicted and we said that we might see the official announcement in a couple of weeks, and next week we're gonna be focusing only on Zelda. It's gonna be a Zelda podcast. And what if we know more about the Nintendo Switch, even like a teaser or something like that
The doc.
by then? Yeah, that'll be.
We'll do 10 minutes of Switch 2 with the rest Zelda.
I doubt it. I honestly doubt it. But yeah, like that's
To
gonna be
be
a huge news. Yeah.
To be fair, if we have we talk about Zelda all the time on our podcast.
Yes, we do. We do.
So
we try
we-
our best not to. We swear.
So if it's something like a really good leak or rumor, or we have an
reveal.
announcement,
Yeah.
then okay, guys, we're totally going to talk about Zelda later. But first, we have Switch 2 news or whatever, or we'll have our thoughts about it. But
Like if they do
There's-
a direct, it's going to be hard not to talk about a direct.
Oh
Extremely
yeah,
hard.
for sure. All right, so
do we?
I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the deep end, and I'm gonna show you the STL file, which is a 3D version of the. It's a file that you use for 3D printing, and I can move it around. You guys can see all around like in 3D 360, and so I'm gonna do it. Here we are.
Oh.
So
I feel like I'm playing Ace Attorney. Like I have to dust
Yeah.
the fingerprints or something.
So you can see here the entire file. The back part, to answer Paul's question, there it is. You see the divide there?
But
it's
they
not-
look like the very same button, but they're not.
yeah. So the divide, you can see the divide there. There are two different buttons right here. It divides, and this is the front one. And they removed the gap that we have here. You can
It
see
just goes
that.
over it.
Yeah. And then the trigger is a lot bigger there. Right here. See the trigger is a lot bigger there. And then off the back, you could see this part right here. This is apparently the release button for just like here. This little button that we have in the back that releases the Joy-Con to come off. That is the one that will, when you hold the Joy-Con like this, it'll just kind of be like a trigger that you can push and then pop out the Joy-Cons. So it's like a release button that you kind of pop it out. Okay.
Mhm.
So this button in the back. So we can take a look at the button in the back there. I don't know where the magnets are going to be. Do you think you think this will be it?
So, judging, what my assumption is is that they are internal, and the two, oh, you can't see where I'm pointing. The two end pieces of that, so
Yeah.
to the very outside of the
This
shoulder bumpers, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then the middle kind of exists for stabilization, which
Uh-huh.
is kind of like the reverse of how this Microsoft Surface. Oh, well, the keyboard's officially dead. It was almost dead for a long time. I was gonna eject it and show. Oh wait, and it's got life. And ejecting, maybe. It's blinking. It's thinking about it. It decided. Oh, yep, we did it. Okay. And so, the difference here would be, obviously, since this is a computer, it has to send data too. But so this is magnetic locking. When I press the button, the magnets move on the inside and let it detach from itself. And so you have a nub on each end, and then of course these middle ones send information, so it's a little different. But my thinking is that just under the plastic there will be two magnets, and then maybe one in the center. But the one in the center more so exists to lock it in internally, other than just the magnets.
And to create the connection, right? Like that little clicky thingy feeling where you see it makes the connection with the system to tell the system, hey, the Joy-Cons are attached rather than detached. Right, this part here. Yeah, I agree with you that maybe the magnets are actually on the surface here, and it kind of clicks in there. It makes sense. All right, so this is the left joystick here, the left joystick. I'm not sure if it's going to follow with Joy-Con, but this is the left joystick here. Let me go ahead and stop sharing here and get the other one ready. We're gonna go look at the joysticks first, and we'll look at the display later. We can take a look at all of them, and then we'll look at the back of the display. Oh, stop trying to open with it's trying to open with Xcode preview. Okay, there you go. All right, we got here. That's the right one. We're looking at the right one. Here we go. So the right one you can see here. This one you can see a lot clearer right here. See the actual the first. Is it the R? Right, the R.
Yep.
This is the R button, and this is the what is it called? The RL. RL.
Oh, RT.
ZR. Okay,
or
ZR.
ZR. Yep.
Yeah, ZR.
ZR or ZL?
ZR. This is the right Joy-Con,
Yeah, because the Z stands for Zapper.
ZR.
and the R stands
Oh, okay.
for rabbit.
I'm sorry, because ZL is the other one. I'm like, I don't know.
And we got a super chat from Boo Mini. Thank you so much for the super chat. Can we confirm the rumor that Paul Kill Network was in a Nintendo commercial? Yes, he was.
Yes.
He was
That's not a rumor. That is the truth.
2 Nintendo Switch
Yeah.
commercials.
The back of his head was in the back in one of them, and the front of his head was in front of him. And then also he met John Cena in one of the meetups too.
Yeah, in the John Cena commercial, you could only see the back of my head for like 2 seconds, despite us
He
hanging
was
out for 40
there.
minutes. But it was a really good back of the head shot.
I guess.
And the other one, that's the longer, like 90-second commercial that John
Yeah.
Cena wasn't a part of.
Yeah.
Because it probably costs more money to have him in. But that's
Oh,
the one you can see like 4 seconds of my face. And that people say is peak cinema.
Yeah.
Who says that, Paul?
Paul
You,
Kill,
Minnie, and me. That's people.
the Gale Network. All right, so we have here. You can see up and close that extra button that we have on the bottom. It looks like the other button on the other side.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is for. Nobody knows at this point what it is for. I mean, all we have is the images, but we know there's a button there, and that's basically it. Apparently, the buttons for here they're bigger, right? They protrude out more. There are not leaks, but rumors out there that you can actually feel more rumble when you play with these things, and there's also a new joystick technology down here that would help with feedback if you're running on sand. Like if you are in the Gerudo Desert and you're walking on sand, you can kind of feel it on your thumbsticks. That's why I want to play Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on Switch 2. I want to see how that feels. And so that's the deal with that. And then of course we also see again the I'm gonna call it the eject button, right? This one right here, the controller eject button. You push it in, and it detaches the system from the system.
Ooh, what do we think Nintendo's going? Did we have official names for these buttons, or was it just press the button and pull your Joy-Con out?
No, I don't think so.
Because I was going to say, was Nintendo going to call them? Are they going to be ZE, or I mean, RE for right eject, left eject?
I wonder, like, if that button has any extra functionality beyond ejecting, then when you are playing with a single Joy-Con 2 in horizontal mode, could it be some kind of back additional trigger button that has something? I mean, it's a multi-purpose button, but could it? Maybe.
I mean, we don't know. Maybe when it's attached, it is the eject button. Maybe when you're playing and holding it like this, it is in the perfect position, so you can actually have one trigger in the back, extra trigger in the back, because you have these two here. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Anything's possible.
Could
But I
function
also
as a
think-
function button.
Yeah.
But I also think that would be hard to really get to, even when you're playing horizontally.
Mhm.
I still feel like that would be a lot to,
I don't know how to control this. It's like going everywhere.
like, it's like, because, well, think about it. I know we're talking specifically about the Joy-Con, but I played only with my Pro Controller. So I'm just thinking, if I were to try to put, I'm thinking about this, if this were a Joy-Con, let's pretend this is a Joy-Con, and trying to get my finger, you know what I mean? Like, how would I get my finger on that button? Oh, wait, my switch is here. Hold on.
Ooh,
Can I pull this out?
Paul, what if it's a camera button? Look where it is. When you look at it here, and you gotta take a picture of the camera, you kind of click like that on the back.
How nuts would it be if that thing in the middle, it's clearly a rectangle and not the same shape as the other ones, but if that slot in the middle was another USB-C to like connect these to things, that would just be so cool.
Yeah, this right
maybe
here.
I take it back what I said. I think maybe it could work because the little button is easier to push here.
Yeah, in the back. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Zach. What were you gonna say?
Or that.
Oh no.
Or to continue with Zach's comment. Here's a goofy one, but I like it. I mean, I like it. Let's go with Zach's USB Type-C button, and then you could throw on a little LCD screen on top. Then you got a tiny little Game Boy Micro Joy-Con with its own little screen on it.
Well, to piggyback off of that, one thing that I was going to bring up when talking about the attachments for the top, just looking at the width of those two dowel holes, I was like, you know what? I'm like, what if Nintendo has a little screen you could put on top for like DS functionality? And if they do, and then let's piggyback off of you piggybacking off of me, you take that little screen from the top in handheld mode and you can do, Game & Watch, Game Boy Micro stuff.
Yeah, just enough tech that it's like, okay, not the full games, but maybe via Bluetooth streaming tech, kind of like maybe you could play full games within a limited range, or tiny little micro games with just enough data in it that could work in a super duper portable mode. Oh, I miss the days where I could fit a gaming console in my pocket. Well, now you can just take that Joy-Con on the go, and it's like a Tamagotchi kind of
Wow. So,
you
guys are way too in the future.
No, the Tamagotchi is from the past.
Maybe it's a hologram projector that comes out.
Oh, the Tupac hologram. That's so cool.
So cool.
All right,
You just have Tupac with you while you're playing your Switch games.
But wait a minute, but like low key though, that's kind of fire though, Paul. Because if you don't, what if you don't have your TV around and but you have a nice big blank wall? I'm thinking about it. If you're at the airport or something like that, or you waiting in line or something like that, if you just find a blank wall, that's kind of lit.
Right,
I don't think we need it.
I don't know if you all remember it or saw it, but it was a third-party dock, and it was really cool where you put the Nintendo Switch in it, and on the side was a projector that projected to a wall. And the dock was wireless, so it didn't need to be plugged into a wall because it had its own battery source. So it simultaneously kept the Nintendo Switch charging, and it had its own charging source. I mean, it had its own battery source as well. But this is a third-party dock. If you haven't checked it out, I think it came out back in 2017, 2018. But I know some people that picked it up. I never did, but super cool concept. Yeah, here's your portable console that already is its own functioning, in tabletop mode. The Nintendo Switch is a functioning TV, game console, and wireless controller. That's impressive.
Yeah.
But throwing it in this wireless dock made it also project, however far you want it to be. It was super cool.
My friends, I'm sorry, but you have to give it up because you've never seen images so detailed of the Nintendo Switch 2 before it's out. Like, look at this. We can actually look at a 3D model here, and just look at the insertion here where the Joy-Cons go in, the connectors here, right there. I cannot agree now more with more and more with Zach, because these area here could be magnetic. The magnetic connection here, along with these part right there too. And then this is maybe the connector here, and then these two things here might
those are where the shoulder buttons lock into for
Yeah,
extra stability. I hate to change the subject from the side, but I just found something that kind of confirmed what we were talking about earlier. Go to the bottom of the Switch.
The bottom.
So notice those are the same holes that we have right here on the Switch 1, which help lock it into the dock, like I was talking about earlier. The Switch 1's dock has the USB-C port, but then the male end USB-C, but then it also has.
It does. This one has 4 of them because of the bigger system.
But so that has 4 of them, which makes sense for more stabilization and because it's bigger. But also, those are the same size in the same holes as the one on top. Which means whatever addition is plugging into the top has to be at least that wide. So
there you have it, guys.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
Exclusive breakdown here. We're doing a breakdown for you guys. Go ahead.
The cartridge slot looks obviously bigger. I think I said this last week, but in case I didn't, I think the cartridge slot. See, I don't think this one is perfect as the one that you showed in one of your other videos earlier this week. But it looked like the cartridge slot was a little bit longer. Like it could accommodate backwards compatibility for the way the Switch is for the OG Switch, and then they're gonna, of course, have Switch 2 ones that will only fit in here, in this one. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah,
of course.
Real quick, Mike. Can you, just for folks that are kind of coming in, welcome. Can you tell everybody exactly kind of how these rumors kind of got out? Not how they got out, but where you picked them up from? Because I've seen that question a couple times.
How did I get the images, or where did the information come from?
How did it leak, basically?
Okay, so
a lot of people have been talking about it. But
So a couple of I would say a week and a half ago, some information got out and showed images of the Nintendo Switch 2 CAD files, right? The same thing I'm showing you now, but they were just images of what the system was, of what it's going to look like, right? And so those CAD files were the same files that went to manufacturers so that they can make it accessories. Now, those same files were collaborated already by many outlets, credible outlets, including people who have connections and their connections within the industry confirmed. Yep, those are the same ones. Developers confirmed it, say, that matches what we were told or what we saw. And so it turns out it is an overall leak, right? We're looking at what Nintendo had in mind for their next system. They weren't looking for a completely overhaul of the next generation system, but they were looking for an incremental upgrade that would play on the success of the Nintendo Switch, but adding more to it, more power, so that third-party developers can come in and make their games, an 8-inch screen on a bigger screen, and of course the magnetic Joy-Cons, which now instead of the rail, it kind of inserts. How do you plugs in? How do you describe that? Yeah, I want to use that word. Attach.
Snaps in.
Snaps. There you go. It snaps in there. And with that, I don't know how this happened, but I was contacted by a friend, and that friend had a friend, and that friend had a friend, and a friend that had a friend, just to protect. And they sent
I
me.
thought it was that, and it was that person's cousin too, right?
Yeah, the cousins, brothers, sisters, mothers, neighbors, little doggy. And so, you know, I got my hands on the official CAD files. 3D. This is the exact 3D printing file that they use to print out their own version so that they can make accessories. So it has every single, like, okay, we see the traditional power button, the volume up and down, the vent here. We have these buttons that we were talking about just now that Zach mentioned earlier. Could be related to like just little slots to make stability. We have the USB-C port here. Down here we also have the traditional USB-C port on the bottom. I can't control this thing. It's somewhere in there. There you go. The USB-C port here. And so what you're looking at right now, if this is your first time looking at it, if this is what the Nintendo Switch 2 might look like, there's a big chance it would look just like this because of the people who collaborated, who confirmed that this was what they were shown or what they were told about, when, you know, developers who actually are working on next gen games. So yeah, for those of you who would like to know more about it, thank you, Josie, for bringing that up, for clearing, so that, you know, everybody's on the same page. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. That's what we're breaking down here, because there have been no images like this, no files like this. You know, we're looking at, look at me, I'm literally looking at it from every angle, right? And so we're just breaking it down for the first time. I made a video early on today showing you images, just giving you a glimpse. But today, we're, between the cast and I and people in the chat, we're breaking it down for you guys. We call it rumors. We call it rumors because everything that Nintendo has not said officially falls into the rumor bill, even if it's like the biggest leak ever. You know what I mean? It's still a rumor until Nintendo confirms it, because Nintendo, at the end, they can scrap the whole thing. It will never make the light of day, and nobody will ever know. Like the apparent Switch Pro that they were going to make, but they never did, and they ended up making the OLED. Nobody will ever know if it was true. It just fell into the rumor veil and never came to light. Only Nintendo.
Well, or was it a thing where it's not that it didn't come out, it's more like maybe we can save some of this design for a newer system or something of that nature.
You're right.
I think the Pro was the thing, and they were like, or we could do a mid-gen refresh, and we got the OLED. That's why, and y'all have been hearing me say this since you know, forever.
Yeah.
I think the personality, because I also said saw a couple comments that say, well, it looks the same, you know, there's not much of a difference, that sort of thing. I think this is going to be the one that has the personality, because OG Switch, let's be honest, it doesn't really have much of a personality unless you get like the limited edition, or not limited, the special edition ones. So I agree with Lily, what she said earlier. I hope it's not just, you know, this kind of coloring, because it needs to, or no, Paul said it, I'm sorry, because it needs to stand out from the current, what we have currently. But I think this is going to be the one with the personality. That's why it can kind of get away with being a little bit bigger, and basically kind of looking the same.
Yeah.
Well,
I want a music app, Nintendo.
Also because, like, for example, PlayStation has always been PlayStation 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But you recognize each one of them. That's what I mean by it. And Nintendo has never done this before. Like, they all have exclusive names pertaining to the specific console. But even that, if this is real, if this turns to be real, it's exactly like, people that don't know might confuse this with the Nintendo Switch. That's what I mean. Like, it doesn't really have like a major of a difference. Although PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, I mean, PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro, they only have like 3 lines, which is a big of a difference. But you know what's my point? Like, that's what I'm trying to point out. I hope that's as soon as we get the official announcement, that there's something that makes it differentiate from the original Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I mean, I personally see a lot. Number one, it's gonna be a lot bigger. from 5.7 on the main line to 7-inch on the OLED to 8. like a massive 8-inch screen. Of course, the Joy-Cons they attach instead of rail, but once they're attached, you're right. It's like it looks kind of the same as the original, but then again, the form factor is a successful one. Nintendo finally perfected the form factor between portable and dockable, and I think all they need to do is incremental upgrades from here and then, and like comparing not Steve Jobs, but Tim Cook to Furukawa. They're both financial people who literally driven Nintendo to heights on Nintendo and Apple to heights when it comes to their financials and their decision making. If you look at the iPhones and you compare them side by side year by year, they look the same. And the real change is internally, right? The real change is like how, if you go to the store, my kid wants the latest Mario game and he needs a system. Which system can I get that plays the latest Mario game? Oh, we got the Switch 2. That's the one that they're gonna get. And that's the bigger screen. And I'm pretty sure Mom, I want the one with the number 2 on it. Don't give me the one. You know?
Give me that one because it's older.
and so yeah. I was on the same boat about even the name, because I don't want the same name, but I understand how Nintendo Switch is just it rolls off the tongue so well, and it identifies the form factor so well. You switch from portable to dock, and so I understand if Nintendo were to just stick with it from now on and leave the crazy naming GameCube, 64, and just say, Nintendo Switch 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They could do it. They can get away with it, right? And so we don't.
I don't think we're going to be calling it Switches forever. I do think eventually they will move on, but
yeah,
it was just the perfect system at the right time. And I think it still is, because now everybody's already used to gaming kind of on the go from their phones, that sort of thing. So it's just too good of an idea. I told y'all when I first saw it, I was like, they nailed it.
They did. Giving people the ability to have both in one, and just pay for one system and have both worlds. Nintendo's the only one providing that at the price that they're doing it, right? And so it's just a win-win overall.
And that's why I think it's necessary too with the name. Like, you guys know me, I would love the Switch Snap. I've been about that forever. But nobody goes to play Microsoft. Nobody goes to play Sony. They go to play Xbox, whether it's Xbox One or Series X or whatever. They go to play PlayStation, whether it's PlayStation 2, 3, 5 Pro. And, I feel like going from the massive success of the Switch to something that's not named Switch, even if it's super similar like this, the general audience, like, it's weird because, like, for my parents, every video game was Nintendo. I mean,
my mom.
We're getting older, and the general audience is different than they were before. I wouldn't be surprised if there's parents who don't know what Nintendo is, but they know what the Switch is.
Well, for sure.
So it just makes sense to not abandon that and to keep that naming convention going. And thankfully it's Nintendo. They're fun and nothing's confirmed, I get, but this is the closest we're going to get to confirmed until it's confirmed. But thankfully Nintendo will always be quirky. And while this might be the Switch 2, and we're going to bless you, Joycey, and we're not going to get, we're going to get a Switch 3, and we're not going to get any more like new, different, fun names. Like, Switch is just Nintendo's gaming thing now. Like, because it's Nintendo, I still can see these controllers that aren't Joy-Cons being like the Fladoodles. Like, they're still every accessory is going to have a crazy name. If we're sticking with the Switch 2, that little camera thing or whatever's going on the top, it's going to be like the Switch Snap Cam Bam Wham, or like, it's just, so I think they're growing up, but they're staying young.
I was gonna also say, though, we're the parents. Well, I'm not, thank God, but we're the parents now. Basically, we're the ones that grew up with Nintendo, grew up with Sega, grew up with PlayStation came in a little bit later, but we still grew up with it. So I still feel like the parents of today will say, okay, Switch 2, I get it.
Mhm.
It's a new thing. I haven't been in playing gaming for a while. What's Nintendo been up to? Oh, they had a Switch 1. Oh, there's a whole bunch of games already here that I didn't even know about. You know,
Yeah.
so I do see people being out of the loop, but everybody knows what Nintendo is, just like everybody knows what Disney is. Even if they don't know specific games or anything like that, they know. But what I'm afraid of is that Nintendo will call it something like the Nintendo hybrid thing or something like that. and then
Nintendo
everybody
Duo.
will be confused. The Nintendo thingy.
Nintendo DOS.
Nintendo Switch
Nintendo.
2.
Nintendo.
But actually, circling back to what Zach and Joycey has been saying, and also making sure that I clarify what I did, Mike. Well, people recognize not even they don't. You can drop the Nintendo completely, and people say Switch, and people recognize which console you're talking about, right?
That's
to
a good
this
point.
point. That is the first thing. So I do agree that naming it something that says Switch will actually, you know, make people think that, hey, this is the brand new console. But the other thing that is that I wasn't really saying that people, of course, we will tell that there's a difference between Nintendo Switch 1 and the Nintendo Switch original and the Nintendo Switch 2. But a lot of people out there that, you know, looking to buy a new console for their kids or even for themselves, it's more like that's what I mean for the branding to differentiate between the two. But of course, this is the best way for Nintendo to approach a new console because they know this works. It has worked for 8 years already. So they're going, you know, on the safe side here, and they've learned from the original one, and they are doing that. They're adjusting what they noticed, and they're listening to all the complaints and all those kind of problems that they were facing. They acknowledge that there were problems, and even with those problems, the Switch till this day is a great console. Like that's what I'm trying to point out here. So I can't be more excited for them to drop the announcement soon if they
And
do.
remember, they're not just getting all 150 million of us back, possibly. They still want to grab other people.
Yeah.
And like everybody has said already, everybody knows what a Switch, just about, you know, people who are interested in gaming know what a Switch is. The parents are the ones that grew up with the Switch. We're talking about people who are in their 40s, 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You know what I mean? They grew up with all this already. And then this is something that people know what it is already. They know what it looks like. They know what it, and I have not really, Mike is probably one of the few people that I've actually heard kind of go out of the box a little bit. And of course, a few people here and there that are like, oh, it looks the same or whatever. That's kind of the thing. That's the point. Because say what you want to say about, people can say what they want to say about Sony, but Sony's always killing it. Okay. They're always doing well. And with all due respect, while they look different, it's still a box. It's, you know, it's a little, one's more sleeker than the other. Well, one comes in this color, one's this and one's that. See, that's all Nintendo kind of has to do with this. It doesn't mean we're not, because remember, guys, we never bought a system because it was quirky and cute and everything else. We never bought that. We bought to play games. That's that's where all the quirkiness is. So just kind of keep that in mind too.
Yeah, I think it's important to when we were younger, and I know I'm like one of the youngest people here, so even
Yes, you are.
even more so you guys than me. But when we were younger, gaming had its community, but it wasn't as culturally relevant as it is now. And so like I'd think about like every time a new PlayStation comes out, you see all the memes, even after it comes out, about all the things you're doing so your girl will buy you a PS5. You know, like that's been a thing that was the thing with the PS4 is like showing someone vacuuming and stuff, and it's like me trying to get her to buy me that PS4. It never had they never really had pictures of the system. Like the meme was, I need my girl to buy me a PS4 or a PS5. And all that to say, like the names of these systems do have more cultural recognition than ever before. And so while I agree that I was hoping that this would look a little different, I also can see, just because of how big the Nintendo, the Switch is, that it not really getting confused because the people who would confuse it aren't buying them in the first place, if that makes sense. Like if a
That's a good
parent's
point.
going to get their kid, what's the new Switch? My son wants a Switch too. They want what's the new Switch thing? I don't see that person being like, oh, well, this looks like that, because they're going based off of what their kid or grandkid is telling them. And so I do think the name I can't think of the word. I was gonna say recognizability, but that's not English. But I do think the familiarity of the name with culture as a whole definitely is more powerful now than then. If there was a Super Nintendo sequel that looked just like the Super Nintendo, then I could see, if the N64 looked like the Super Nintendo, I could see a lot of parents getting confused. Now, I think it's just, oh, my kid wants a Switch 2. They want a Switch 2 and a PS5.
Yeah.
We have a PS4 though, and it's like, no, but isn't 5 better? See, that's kind of how I look at it, because and I know other people have said this before, but we are trained that higher price means better quality. Think about it. You know what I mean? Higher price is better quality, especially when you're shopping for things you need, but you technically don't need, but you do need.
I agree. 100% agree. And I'm going to go ahead and take it over. Let Lily. We have now begun the Q&A portion of the show. If you have a question, drop it in the chat. One of our amazing crew will star it. And I'm going to get Lily, you want to go ahead and take over the questions? Because guys, I'm blind. So I don't know what question is first, second, or third. And so I want to make sure that we get the questions in the order that they came in. So Lily, you want to go ahead and
But real quick, Mike, one of us has to go soon. So
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. If you have to go, you can just go click out, and then we'll shout you out at the end of the podcast. Everybody knows. Everybody always gets shouted out at the end of the podcast, and we'll position your social media and stuff like that. So yeah, if you have to go at any moment, you can go ahead and then just boop.
Cool.
Bye.
Love you, Paul. Good night.
Enjoy the rest.
All right, Paul.
Bye.
Good night.
Before we bring up the questions while Lily's looking for those, did you guys see the Virtual Boy news?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
Virtual Boy news?
To the museum?
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
Virtual Boy
I
is
heard.
officially being emulated on the Nintendo Switch at the museum, but that means Nintendo has built a Virtual Boy emulator for the Switch. So that very well could be coming to Nintendo Switch Online or NSO.
Yeah. Or maybe they're just for the museum.
I really want to see that happen, just so my silly self could go buy the headset that goes with it.
You saw how big it is? It's like this massive thing. You put your face in it and look at the game. It's hilarious.
In all seriousness, though, why would we want that? Because do y'all know what them Virtual Boy games look like? That's gonna be hard on the eye.
Oh yeah, that's why it failed, because people were getting migraines, headaches, seizures.
Oh my,
everything.
yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah,
Bad.
it was really bad.
All right, that's the first question.
So we have the first question from Christopher, and I'm sorry, can we change the layout, because I'm actually covering Zach right now.
Oh, you're right. Hold on.
Sorry for that, Zach.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
You guys can't see it, but I'm really, really angry about this.
Now we can see you.
You're our eye candy for the show, man.
All right. So, Christopher, thank you so much for your question. So, question for Mike. What do you think the next generation cartridge will look like, and how will it be placed in the console if backward compatibility is in fact happening?
So I think the cartridge will look exactly the same as the cartridge we have now, with differences. It will be upgraded. The one we have is techie 2D NAND, which is a technology for SD cards and storage. The ones we're gonna get now are 3D NAND, which is a better, faster speeds, and you can accommodate more storage in that card. I'm guessing there's going to be some type of mechanism where you can, if you insert that into Switch 1, it'll say not compatible, right? Or you can't insert it at all. Nintendo will probably do like a 3DS move and add like a little stick to the side so that it doesn't actually go straight in. But rumored that Nintendo is sticking to cartridges. It'll be a similar cartridge. We covered a patent that showed a different cartridge than the one we have now. Similar, a little bit more squared off, but still the same size, maybe a little thicker. But I feel like the same slot that you insert that cartridge in will also accommodate the current Nintendo Switch cartridge. So I think that's how backwards compatibility physically is going to happen. Digitally, all you gotta do is download it.
Oh, or just like it happened with the 3DS. I mean, with the DS and the Game Boy Advance. I think that it was that we were able to insert the Game Boy cartridge within the DS. But of course, the cartridge was like very big, so it was actually sticking out of it, right? But I don't really think that that's going to be the case, but I feel like it will have the same the same design at the bottom. So when you slide it in, it kind of makes the whole mechanism click, regardless if it's if it's a Nintendo Switch original game or a Nintendo Switch 2 a cartridge. The
patent does show two different readers, but it could be just one side by side with the other one.
My assumption is that it'll be the same, and this is just off of what we've seen recently, is that it'll be the same, relatively the same size and shape, but the grooves here will be slightly different. So Switch 1 carts can still slide into the Switch 2 just fine. But kind of like Mike was saying with the little line or something, because of the shape of the grooves, this won't be able to slide into Switch 1 carts or Switch 1 card readers.
If you try to force it, you'll probably break it. Don't do that.
Oh no. And I'm gonna answer this other question. It's not in order, but just because it goes directed to me. So Lily Hyrule, is that your real name? Thoughts on Echoes of Wisdom? Lily is my real name. Hyrule, of course, it pertains to I love
where she
Legend
lives.
of Zelda, and also where I live. That's correct. Thank you, Joycey.
Yes.
But like about Echoes of Wisdom, I'll wait until next Friday, or you can tune in tomorrow because I'll be playing the game on my YouTube channel. Also, rapid fire, very, very quickly. So I was holding back of creating content exclusive Zelda because I thought, talking about video games as an overall, it was better, but then I started creating or making content, and then they released Tears of the Kingdom final trailer, and it started to it actually blew up. So I was like, I guess that's a sign. And I also was volunteering for Zelda Universe. If you have ever heard of that community, I was there. So that's why it's Hyrule.
Nice. All right, next question.
The next question that we have is from Ovaldo E. I'm thinking about getting the Switch OLED. Should I wait for the new one?
Okay, so this is a unconventional answer that I'm going to give you. Have you ever owned a Nintendo Switch? If the answer is yes, wait. If the answer is no, there's a lot of used ones really, really cheap right now, like on Mercari, on eBay, like $100, literally like $100 on eBay, Mercari. Then when you get that, then when you get the Switch 2, go to GameStop, trade it in, and they'll give you one of those promotional credits that's probably more than you may pay for. But if a brand new one, it's up to you. There's a lot of games out there that you can still play. The Switch has a beautiful library of game. We don't know when the Switch 2 is going to come out, and if you want something to play now, you don't have nothing now, why not? There's a lot of bundles with 2-3 games with 12 months of Nintendo Switch Online, which you get a lot of value for. It's I know a lot of people will tell you not to. If you have nothing and you want to play games now, right now there's Echoes of Wisdom. Next month is Mario Jamboree. Then there's Mario and Luigi Brothership. There's a lot coming. In January, Donkey Kong. There's so many games coming that I don't want you just to sit around and look at everybody play and not have fun. If you
miss out
on the Switch, even if it's a Switch Lite, get it. Just go ahead and jump in and get to the deep end and enjoy your gaming life.
And then if you're concerned, if you're somebody like me, there's certain things I don't always buy used that's this late into a gen. Double check when Black Friday sales start.
Yeah.
Because even if Nintendo don't come down on the price, this particular store might. So keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I just did a quick check on Facebook Marketplace. And of course, this is around me, but
Mhm.
I'm seeing a lot of Switch Lites for 75, 80 bucks.
Yeah, there you go.
But
you
then
go.
Oh my.
also too, I do agree with what Mike said, which is if you're planning on spending full price on a new system, my recommendation, what I would do is buy a used OLED for up to 150,
Yeah.
and then at that point, you're probably going to get 150 trade-in
Mhm.
at least. But I wouldn't feel comfortable going past that, just in case you don't want to lose money.
Yeah.
When the new Switch comes out, so then you're still paying full price for a system, but you basically got to play a couple months for free in the long run.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I hope you don't hate me for this, but I'm gonna defer a little bit for what you are saying. If you could wait only a few months until you at least know a little bit of what kind of games, which games you're getting. The reason why I'm saying this because it's a personal, it really depends on what you're looking for. Let's say that you're a super hardcore Metroid fan, and we know that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be available for the Nintendo Switch 2. Then the best thing will be to wait. Why? Because if you get the Nintendo Switch 2, you'll still be able to play the entire catalog of games out there for the Nintendo Switch original. But at least you have the console for you to play that Metroid Prime 4. That'll be my only reason if that was your case, right? But other than that, I agree with everything you just said.
I think that's all good points, though. So that was a lot of information from everybody. So now you can make an informed decision.
Yeah, at the end, it's up to you. Are you bored right now? You want to play something? Do it. If you wait. So it's up to you at the end.
Yep, absolutely.
And then if you still want the Switch 2 and you wait, you still have all these games, hopefully. And we hope it's backwards compatible. You still have all these games.
Yeah.
All right, next question is from Michael J. Never played 3DS. Was the 3D feature good?
I never played it either. I'm playing it now because I'm able to buy the physical games and stream them myself. But I didn't play it either. What was the question? If what feature 3D feature? Oh yeah, I heard it was horrible. People
I didn't like it.
And
I liked it, but you had to hold it at the perfect angle. Like you couldn't move while you were playing.
It was tricky.
But at that angle, it was pretty fire.
It's a cool name though. Cool name. 3D.
I think it was hard too because wasn't it like 360p or something like that?
Yeah.
So
very, very
that's kind of
small.
really that's so low res. We got a 1080 TV in 2006 when the Bears went to the Super Bowl. So that's how old 360p is, And so the 3D effect, who knows, maybe would have looked awesome in 720, but
also I play that I don't know when they first released it, so probably my eyes as I get older, most likely I'm not going to be able to adjust to that, so no.
Yeah.
All right, we have the other question from Stubbs. The flap to insert the games on the OLED is impossible to open, or is it just me? That I don't know because I don't have an OLED.
So I have one right here. You're saying that this flap that you kind of open to. I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard actually. I've never noticed that before.
Mike's like, now that I'm paying attention to it.
You're right.
He's like, why would you do this to me, Stubbs? I'll never not notice this now.
It's true. I'm sorry. I do buy physical. I double dip. I buy physical to collect. I buy digital to play on my system. But you're right. It's like, man, look at this. It's not even opening up.
I don't have one, so Joyce's trying right now.
10,000 Noodles says push down.
Bad. Mine doesn't open.
Mine doesn't do it when you push down. But guys, this is what you do if you have, a lot of my nails broke lately. I have a lot going on over here. All you need is a little bit of nail. Just slide right under. Opens right up.
No, wait. I was opening in the wrong direction. Sorry. Yeah.
That's probably why.
Yeah. There you go. That one.
Switch OLED wrong direction challenge.
Maybe you're like
skill
me.
level impossible.
Maybe you're opening in the wrong direction just like me. So
read the instructions.
But it's very easy to open. Now I will admit what is tricky is when you pop it open and then trying to get your game out, because I'm always worried that I'm gonna hurt the coils or something like that. What do I have in here? Oh, Octopath Traveler.
Paper
Yes.
Mario.
I was
Paper.
playing some of the newer modes. So.
Nice.
I got
What?
Kevin D says, I've been using my teeth the entire time.
the only reason I got Paper Mario.
What do you mean the only reason? You don't need a reason. It's Paper Mario.
No,
That's the reason.
No, the only reason I have the physical version is because I was sent the physical version instead of like digital code. So that's the only reason I have. I'm not got digital. So what are you guys laughing about? I want to laugh too.
I'm sorry. Is that he's saying I've been using my teeth the entire time?
Your teeth
Like
How?
that, like
Yeah,
that.
like to open it.
like this? Oh my god! Wow. I mean,
Well, and what's
no.
crazy is I
Hey.
find that to be harder, but of course I always have lipstick on. So
no, I don't judge. That is a way. It's a way. You know you found a solution to a problem. You did it. Go you. Good
You look
job.
at his,
never
you look
give
at
up
the
and
Switch,
journey.
Sorry.
there's just all these lipstick marks, and you get SpongeBob. Actually, it's
sorry.
Coral Blue 43.
Like, what have you been doing to your Switch?
I'm sorry. Oh my god. Yeah, that was a great question.
What's the next question?
Natty, we have another question. Even though the Switch 2 is only supposed to be as powerful as a PlayStation 4 Pro, do you think people will actually use it as their primary console if Nintendo supports third party games enough?
I think so when it comes to power, just to clarify, PS4 Pro, more like the Xbox Series S. But then again, on top of that, you have to add the newer technology and of course DLSS and AI upscaling, which will bring it up to the par of current gen system. Not as powerful as PS5, not as powerful as Xbox Series X, but powerful enough for third parties to come in. This Paul just left, but Paul's friends, developers who are currently working on Switch games that did not work on Switch games before, they're excited about the prospects of bringing their games to Nintendo Switch 2 because of the not only the power that it brings now, but the portability. And a lot of people who have systems on an 8-inch screen, Nintendo will be the biggest handheld system out there, like a biggest handheld system at 8-inch. Steam Deck is 7.4, by the way. It's a big system, but the screen is only 7.4. But I think that Nintendo will sell a lot more systems because of the third-party support, even if it's not the main console. I think people will double dip. They'll probably get maybe Xbox Series S or X and then get a Switch one so they can take on the go with them, unless PlayStation and Xbox release their own handheld systems, which I'm pretty sure they're rumored that they want to jump in there. But yeah, I primary console. I think for us Nintendo fans, it'll be a primary console always. But for third party anybody coming out, because of the more power on the systems, they'll probably have it as a secondary, just because they're being introduced to a new system, you know, more power, portable and stuff.
I feel like it really depends on, again, personal preference, because if you're that kind of person that likes to be in front of a big screen and, you know, and sitting in the couch and playing Call of Duty or something like that, then probably it's not going to be your primary. But what if you like to play on the go? Then it will most definitely turn, or it will be your primary console if that's the case.
Yeah, and you have to listen. You just have to look at the Nintendo Switch sales. Okay, to figure out whether people are more portable than dockable, right? Look at the DS, the highest selling system of Nintendo history, the Nintendo DS, right? And the Switch hasn't unsold the DS, and the DS was a portable system. And I'm not talking about PlayStation 2, that's it. But you know, so you have to look at that factor. People do want portable. People want even better if it's hybrid. For some, if it becomes their main console, just because, you know what, I can care less if it looks hybrid realistic, as long as it plays the game well and it runs well, and I could choose whether just play in the subway, come home, dock it, and continue playing, and that I find value in that. Then for those people, yeah, it'll be a primary console. But you know, like Lily said, it's all preference, it's all choice, whether you are more dockable or handheld. If I were more of a console person, I'll probably play PlayStation 2, PlayStation 5, my main console, you know. But because I'm a Nintendo geek, and what do you call that word? The Nintendo
Nintendork.
Nintendo.
No, you're not a geek. You're not anything negative. It's a hobby. Okay, it's a hobby. Play how you want to play. Gaming is for everybody.
I love being a geek.
I still
I
think
prefer
it's
to call
worth
us
noting.
nerds.
Nurse.
What'd you say to that?
I still think it's worth noting that I just find it suspicious how little we've seen leak about the dock. And so at least as a mid-gen upgrade, I see a super dock, especially with these new capabilities. But we very well could have in advanced a super dock or a pro dock or whatever you want to call it
Super duper dock
at launch. Because Nintendo's sending these files to accessory makers, but this is an accessory. There's accessories for the docks, but how come we haven't seen any accessory makers with dock files yet?
Yeah,
and I just kind of find that suspicious, and I feel like even when they said, like, when there was the box and developers were able to feel the system, remember that? Like,
I remember that,
Dune stuff. Like, they didn't feel the dock, but we know that the dock is an important part of the system and that it's going to have stronger internals compared to this current dock. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're potentially at launch. I think more likely is a mid-gen upgrade. But if there is a super dock that puts it in the realm of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, with an internal GPU, CPU, ability to stream to the dock and everything, a little home personal screen and stuff. Man, I agree. Super duper dock. Bring it.
The dock is like a whole entertainment hub.
Yeah, can you imagine? You're right.
And then it's also a projector, so you can watch Netflix on it, and then you can switch off Netflix and then go back to playing Zelda because it does play Zelda.
Have you seen the Panasonic Q, the dopest looking system Nintendo has ever made?
No.
It was a Japan exclusive. It is a GameCube that is also combined with a Panasonic DVD player, and it is chrome. The ports for the controllers to plug in have blue LEDs. So never say never. You could get some official, and it's like twice the size of a regular GameCube too. Like you put them next to each other, it's just this chrome cube, and it's official from Nintendo. But you very well could get official projector Switch dock. Likely, no, but they've done crazier things.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we have the next question from Tardis. Do you guys think Street Pass or Miiverse will return, or those short games theme songs or menu music, background music?
Yes, we have
this
one that we have to will it into existence. It has to come. Everything has to come back. Themes.
We are manifesting this into existence.
I manifest an entire system where you can actually redeem your points for different wallpapers or music from the video games. And some games come with wallpapers for your Nintendo Switch and themes and a whole bunch of stuff. Street Pass everywhere, so you can just kind of bing and all that stuff to where I don't know. I never.
Wait a minute.
I'm just guessing at this ping, like a ping.
When you talk about using your points, I'm about to go on my eShop rant for a moment. One of the things, if you can use your points and you have kind of a UI, Nintendo Miiverse kind of set up. I think it would be cool if you had, like, in Splatoon 3, we have lockers that we can decorate. I think it would be cool if you had, like, your own kind of Miiverse style type of little hub for yourself, and you have all those options right there. And I would like for us to be able to go to the eShop from said hub. And I would like the eShop to run like Amazon, meaning I can scroll and scroll and scroll, and it doesn't take 20 minutes to load like the next screen. And no, that's not an internet thing. That's how the eShop works. Because I would tell y'all, as somebody, I don't necessarily like to shop, but I like to online shop, if that makes sense. So somebody like me who's just like, okay, I've played every single Zelda like 100 times. I played all the Marios. I played all this. Let's try something like brand spanking new, that I would never try. That's one of the things that's why online shopping makes so much more, because you don't have to leave the home. You don't have to leave the bathtub.
Home,
You
don't have to leave the bed. And some of the gems that I've really enjoyed have come from just being allowing the eShop to load a page every 20 minutes and just scroll it through. So I don't know about Miiverse per se, because I know that Nintendo is real weird about social media, and y'all know how social media was fun when Switch came out, and now it's not so much, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're going to handle that. And if you do play Splatoon 3, then you know there's some things that slide through whatever filter Nintendo has, and because I've seen some stuff. I don't report anybody, I don't snitch, but I'm just like, how did you get away with that, or how did you get away with that username?
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to want to mess with that. But I do feel like they're going to make a better way for people to be able to communicate, you know, in there.
I love it. Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Another thing is just to piggyback on what Joshi's saying when it comes to features, I think Nintendo does have some sort of what do you call that, achievements, but they don't tell you that you're getting achievements. They just add the points to your silver coins on NSO, and that's what you use, because when you play games, you play NSO, you earn coins. I think that they need to make that more clear in achievements within the game. Like when you play a game, an achievement comes up, you conquered this or play this, here's 10 coins or whatever, right? Making more
like achievements almost.
Yeah, achievements. And achievements, like combine achievements with their point system, like the not the gold coins, because that you purchase, but the silver ones, the ones
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
they already have the most iconic coin sound effect too.
For real.
True.
Like when your achievement pops
hearing
up.
hearing that sound, you're like, man, awesome. That you'll be happy to hear that. You get something.
And also, I'm gonna talk about this until I'm blue. Whoa, what'd you say, Mike? I'm sorry.
No, Nintendo, take notes. That's it.
We're totally we're behind the scenes. Furukawa is just like, okay, they do want UI personality. I got it. And I'll say this till I'm blue in the face, because I just think it's just money for them. Because we would buy this. I keep saying I want a music app, or if they have some kind of Nintendo entertainment app. We can see all the old cartoons. We can see behind the scenes stuff, that like all their dev interviews they like to do. And they could put that on there like a few days, like maybe before they just release it out to the public or something like that. Put their movies on there, because we're getting more movies. I feel it in my soul. I have not heard anything about this or anything. I just feel it in my soul that the next movie or TV debut for a Nintendo character is going to be Samus.
For sure.
Because I just think Metroid would just work
I hope
really
not.
well.
I need to get a little further in my career so I can make that movie for them.
Good point.
No, you don't. Nintendo hires Zach to write a Metroid movie or TV show, and hire me to do. Well, you already got somebody doing the Zelda movie, but I'll do one for you.
Hire me as the extra person who gets shot and goes, ah. Anyway, so
Mike's just coming with us. We don't know what he's going to do yet. He's just
there's a patent there where it talks about an entertainment area where you can see episode by episode. You can see movies. You can see games. It's like it has episodes, seasons, movies, and so it actually kind of represents a hub. That's why we came with the dock being its own hub, and hopefully Nintendo does bring that to the forefront. Who knows what we can get? Right now they're doing some sort of way. If you go to a news area, you see all the little squares with all the news, and you click on them, they have videos and got news. It would be cool if they had that as like maybe like Kid and Krista used to do with little things, and have their own little news area reporting on the same system. You can go there and watch Nintendo news. Although that
and it could be characters from other games, just all hanging out in the hub. Samus is going to give you the news. Ganon is going to have like a booth for Volt Fruit or something.
That we're getting all of that stuff.
You need to have picture in picture, so you can add your favorite YouTubers to the corner while you play games, and you can watch it. All that stuff.
Also, by the way, Echoes of Wisdom icons. It's available for the Nintendo Switch Online, so go and get them.
Nice.
Now.
Do it.
With the Miiverse, I think one thing that's important to note too is Nintendo has not actually really sunset the Mii stuff. I don't know if
get distracted. You saw that, right?
I don't know if where was I going with it? Oh yeah, how much like you guys have paid attention, but the NPCs in Zelda in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom
Mhm.
are Miis. Like they use an updated version of the Mii creator,
Mhm.
and people found that in the code when there were some leaks. And like you can go to there are certain individuals that if you wanted, you could pay. I'm not endorsing anything, but they would take your Mii and they would turn it into, they would do the code and stuff. And so then when you go and play Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, that one of the NPCs will be made with your Mii, but it's a much higher detail version.
Pretty cool.
And so Nintendo
Interesting.
is still using Mii stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Miiverse comes back. I personally think I've said it as jokes before, but after seeing how wide those two dowel holes or peg holes were on the top of that system, I really do think that we're going to get, whenever they bring the DS 3DS and whatnot to Switch Online, I think we are going to get something that snaps onto the system or attaches that is a smaller monitor, and a second screen, so that way you can play DS games handheld natively on your Switch. But that to say, if they're doing that, then I think they're going to bring Street Pass back too, and I hope so, because that would be awesome.
I'm telling you, that was one of my main guesses for that first SD, the USB-C slot on top, external monitor, and I said they're gonna make one like a thin one, that way it doesn't cover the vent. But then again, you brought up that the actual screen can also have a vent of itself, so that the ear can kind of come out too. So it works. Nintendo's doing some cool stuff.
All right, I'm gonna rapid fire to all the questions that are directed to someone specifically within the crew. So this one is yours, Mike. How recent is the CAD file? Is it still 2023 prototype?
No, it's the most recent CAD file, the one they're using right now to create the accessories.
So no, that's and then we have another question from Paul. What color Joy-Cons do you hope are on the Nintendo Switch 2?
So the at Mike Odyssey necessarily means this for me is that it highlights the question in the chat, so that's easier to find. So but yeah, I think that I don't think the Joy-Cons are gonna be any color that we've seen. I think Nintendo has to do like something different that says, hey, those Joy-Cons come for Switch 2, and they're Switch 2. They're bigger. They're gonna be bigger, so you can't use them on a Nintendo Switch. But I hope they're unique to the system, like the color or something like a dual color, black in the back, white in the front, or vice versa, or whatever. Some nice little gradient or something. I don't know.
Thank you, Mike. We have one for Joycey. Travis, so he's asking, how do you like Octopath Traveler? I am a Dragon Quest fan, and Square Enix is putting out a remake of Dragon Quest 3 in HD 2D in November. The graphics are always being compared to Octopath Traveler.
If you've been here before, you know my answer. Octopath Traveler is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
There's part 1 and part 2. Yes, you need to play both. They're very, very good stories. The battle is turn-based, but it's not necessarily as easy as you think. And if you 100% it, if you're crazy like me, and you get to that, there's a final boss, and then there's a final boss.
Yeah.
You beat that final boss, you are instantly goated to higher levels of gamerness that is absolutely nuts. I have not played Dragon Quest, but everything's a journey these days. What do the kids say? On my gaming journey of enlightenment, if you will, I'm opening my mind up a lot more to different things. So I'm finding that I actually like more than I think I like. So I wouldn't be surprised. It may not be like a day one buy or anything like that, but going down the line, especially after I knock out this really long backlog, it's a very big backlog, then I could see myself trying it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can see a lot of the comparison comes from the art style and how it combines 3D with 2D elements. You see the little 2D figures walking in like a 3D world, which is pretty cool. And so, yeah, I agree with Joycey. I still need to play Octopath Traveler though. I need to get into that. So that's a homework that Joycey gave me back when we started the podcast.
No, you're on your Zelda journey now. That is where you need the enlightenment. So you just play all the Zelda, I'll be happy.
All right.
And Paul did ask another question. I'm just gonna say he was wondering how many hours you're gonna put this weekend, but this is the official question from Christopher. He's asking, how is it that you have a non-Zelda game in your Switch, especially when the new Zelda game is out?
Digital.
I know. I don't know. Well, seriously, for one, I just picked up on my lunch break today.
You.
I know, right? Off of
How
my
dare
head,
you.
child. I did just pick up my Switch Lite and Echoes of Wisdom today on my lunch break. I already told everybody I am not going to have a chance to play it until tomorrow. And to answer Paul's question of how many hours am I putting in? Well, see, I thought if I got up at like 5 a.m. tomorrow, and then, till maybe about 8 a.m. Monday.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Around the clock.
And I guess
can't go that long.
I guess this one is going to be for Zach. Do you think you'll be able to trade Pokemon between Switch 1 and 2?
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry, that's what I.
Even if you can't manually plug them into each other, you can still connect them to each other because we've seen that for local Mario Party and Splatoon and these other games. So,
yeah,
for
and
a simple answer, yes, I'm excited about it.
And I'm sure that they're gonna upgrade Pokemon Home. So,
Pokemon Sleep, they're gonna start giving away Pokemon houses. Period. It's a Pokemon house. I don't even know how it works. But they'll figure it out.
Pokemon pills, and vitamins so you can get you hooked.
No, seriously, seriously. I worked with Flintstones vitamins back in the day when we was kids.
I remember that. Yeah.
Look. My mom had to take my vitamins away from me because I was eating like 3 and 4. And she told me, she said, "This isn't candy," and I'm like, "But why does it taste like candy then?"
Right. I remember that.
I had to kick that habit.
All right, we have another question from Clifford, and I think this is more directed to Mike, as he's the expert for that. Will the Nintendo Switch 2 display that was displayed tonight be the only color they came out with?
Hopefully not.
So there's a rumor that there's a white version and a black version. So that's the rumor out there. I hope that we have a different color, like a very nice, maybe futuristic, like really techie color, not like just the traditional white that we've had before or the black before. I hope that Nintendo does something out of the box that represents Switch 2, right? Just like when you saw the OLED for the first time, they had that little nice design of colors on the screen whenever they displayed it. I hope they think outside the button, like.
Dear Nintendo, your color scheme should just be tuxedo black.
Tuxedo black. Yeah.
That'll be perfect, and it'll shine and shimmer and be pretty, and it's fine. Or just go with a bunch of different colors.
Yeah. But even so, I love the fact that the buttons are bigger and bolder, so they're easier to see, and maybe from my giant fat thumbs, they're easy to press. So, yeah, happy.
All right, we have another question from Chris, and this is for everybody. Now, the question is, will Switch 2 game also have a Switch 1 game?
No.
Switch 1 version, you mean?
No. Third party, yes. Nintendo Switch exclusive big first party games, next Mario, next Zelda, no.
The Switch 1's going to be backwards compatible with the Switch 2, but not the other way around.
Yeah, but I guess that they're asking this question more like what's happening with the PlayStation 4, that you bought the PlayStation 4 version, let's say Resident Evil 4, and then you get the free upgraded version for the PlayStation 5, which I kind of understand where they're coming from, but no, I doubt it.
Nintendo's never done that. The only thing I can see happening is third-party developers releasing a version of the Switch because it has a bigger audience at the beginning of its life cycle, and then releasing a more upgraded version on the Nintendo Switch 2. Not AAA companies. AAA are going to go straight for Nintendo Switch 2 because they've been waiting for that console and they want to jump on it. That's it.
Thank you for your question. Unlucky Evolution, we have another one. Will I be able to use Switch 1 games that aren't digital on a Switch 2?
That
aren't digital, physical ones?
Physical,
so backwards compatibility.
Yeah, it's expected. Yeah. They can't make one and not the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can't not have backwards compatibility, especially if, I have to say this, especially if you get some kind of upper res or extra 2 frame rates or something like that on Switch 2 if you use Switch 1 games.
Mhm.
I would think that I hope they put something like that in there, or it comes with some kind of patch, at least on Nintendo's games.
Mhm.
So that would be awesome.
Nintendo patch.
Zach, this question is for you. Christopher is asking, do you like Power World, and what do you think of Nintendo's lawsuit?
So I have not played Pal World. What I've seen, it looks fun. It looks like Pokemon with guns to me. But I don't actually know what the lawsuit's about, because we know it's about patent infringement, and patents are not character designs. Patents are game mechanics.
Yep.
And so I've seen a lot, and as a 3D generalist and 3D modeler myself, I've seen a lot about how some of the characters supposedly, or even parts of the characters, are ripped from Pokemon characters. And that seems pretty undeniable. People are like, well, it's not 1-to-1. And I'm like, you literally can select a couple of vertices in Blender, because that's what they were using. And then you can just hit scale on the Y-axis and shrink it, and it won't be 1-to-1 anymore. But it looks close enough where I'm like, that's stolen, but that's that would be copyright and not patent. And so I don't know what the lawsuit's over specifically. I've been paying attention to it because it's interesting. I think it'll have a lot of interesting precedent for clone games in the future. But yeah, so I don't really have an opinion. If they're not ripping them off, I want them to, to win and not lose against Nintendo. If they are ripping them off, then that'll come to light when the courts look at the files and whatnot. And in that case, like, don't rip people off.
It's gonna happen what needs to happen if that's the case.
So I'm kind of impartial, but I'm very interested in it.
Yeah, there's a particular thing that they're focusing on, and apparently that Power World has Pokeballs, and then you throw the Pokeball to catch the monsters. So that little mechanic there is what's being highlighted in the lawsuit, that they're using Pokeballs and just calling it something else, and then the mechanic of catching Pokemon.
I still think that's weird.
It is.
But I wonder if there's just something that we don't know.
Exactly.
They're holding close to their vest.
Makes sense.
Listen, if Nintendo's going after that and wasting money on lawyers, they have something. They have something.
And then this is unrelated to this question, but I just have to point it out because it's really funny and it made me laugh.
Yeah.
Angelo Ziccarelli said, Zach kind of looks like Shia LaBeouf.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm
You
just
do
gonna.
maybe
I just want to show you guys something really quick. Oh, that's not the right GIF. All right. So turn this one off. Turn this one off. So you guys see this? This is the just do it GIF showing up.
Yeah.
All right. So, let me boop. Now there should be 2 of them showing up.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one on the right's a face swap. I don't see if you can see on the top left. It says made with the Reface app.
Wait, let me go ahead and.
They're not
No
identical.
way.
The one on the right is me.
Bruh.
No way.
So
Mind blowing.
I just figured I'd share that with y'all because
Clip it, people in the chat.
Yeah.
Anyways, we get back to the questions.
We discovered Shiloh's long lost brother.
Yep.
Illegitimate brother.
You're at least cousins.
Yeah.
There was one time he had this crazy outfit, and like his shirt said like something grandpa on it or something like that. I forget. And his pants were weird. And my friend sent it to me trying to like mess with me, and he was like, he's like, bro, what are you wearing? And then my ex who was with me at the time, she was just like, why are you dressed like that? And I was like, that's not a picture of me. I'm not dressed like that. And oh yeah, I've heard that forever. People called me Stanley because I had the Jufro coming out of my hat in high school all the time, just like in holes.
I love it.
And then we have almost the last question. The Foster Dojo, he's asking, what are your top 3 features in order you guys want to see improved on the system? What are you most hyped for?
Screen, power, and hopefully a better UI.
For me, one has been confirmed. It was the backwards compatibility. I guess that was the ones that I was more hype about, and better UI. I do agree with you.
Yeah.
And the third one, I don't know. I have no idea.
More games.
More games. Yeah.
Doesn't play Zelda.
You got it. Doesn't play Zelda.
I gotta go with the bigger controllers since they're not Joy-Cons. I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that just for the motion
Drop
control's sake, specifically Mario Kart. I'm excited for this attachment, this USB-C port at the top. Especially like I said, I got high hopes for it. I hope I don't get let down, but I'm really expecting another screen and other crazy accessories to come for that. And then, yeah, gotta go with backwards compatibility because my library of physical games. Can't lose it.
Yeah.
So I guess I would say, does eShop also count as UI as well? So UI and eShop, I'm making that number one. I put all the Nintendo quirkiness and flavor back into it. 2 is power. And the only reason, y'all know I don't really care about power, but I think one of the reasons that it's the important, that's what I think the fans have been, and gamers just in general have been screaming the whole time. It's like, we love everything about it, just make it a little bit more powerful so I can do even more on the go. And then I think for third, backwards compatibility.
Nice.
I want everything to be able to, even though I'm not going to get rid of my original OG switches or my OLEDs or anything. I don't see why I would necessarily need to move what I do have digital over, but allegedly or hopefully our accounts are going to carry over anyway.
Yeah.
And then if it's backwards compatible, well then my white OLED can just kind of go on a shelf. I love the box for it.
Yeah. Also, if you have it like in separate rooms, it's like whichever's available, so you can just play whichever, right? So it's like,
I'll put the old school stuff in one room and new school stuff in another.
Yeah.
So you're saying I should have 2 game rooms? Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
All right, and the last question is from Paul, but I left that on purpose on the last one because I wanted to show you it to you guys. So this is the Great Deku Tree from Ocarina of Time. I finished the build already, and I wanted to show you. And the question is, which one do you like better? I personally love this version because of several things. But first of all, it's compact. Like I can put it on a shelf. The other one, Breath of the Wild, don't get me wrong, is just amazing, mind-blowing. It has a lot of pieces on it, but it's just simply not for me. But this one, aside from that, like you have the little Deku Sprout over here. You can see him over here.
Highlight that.
And then you have also, of course, Link over here. You see, he's right in the front. This thing opens up. And there's this Skulltula also inside. So that's why I was like, I really, really like this one. And the Skulltula is on the back. So you can pretty much bring it up like that. And then bring it down.
That is so cool.
And the last piece I wanted to show you guys is that it has a treasure chest. And Joycey, you're going to love this.
Yes,
because
I am.
Tell me which weapon or item you get within the Deku Tree.
Within the Deku Tree, you get.
Slingshot?
Is it the slingshot?
Yes, that is correct. And here's a tiny slingshot. It's in the chest. So yeah, I gotta go with Ocarina of Time. I'm sorry, even though Breath of the Wild was amazing. But yeah, that's why I wanted to bring this up for you. You also get to keep the other one separate. So you have the little house, and you also have the pedestal with the Master Sword from Breath of the Wild.
Oh, that's cool. So you have 3 little separate sets instead of just one. Yeah. I also haven't seen both. I think I like the Ocarina of Time better too. I think it's more retro Deku Tree than the more modern. What do you call that? The leaves from Japan. The
sakuras.
What was that?
The cherry blossoms. The
cherry blossom. Yeah.
I thought you talked about the. I thought you. I thought you meant the little leaf people.
No,
The Koroks.
not
He used to
the
be
Korok,
Kokiri, technically.
the little poop people.
My bad. They're the leaf people.
They're the
They
And-
poop
are the children of the forest.
So, I have a story related to this Lego set, which I do not own, from a couple days ago.
Uh-huh.
Me and my girlfriend went on a Target date, and I was like, "Hey,"
I'm gonna talk my dude into that.
I was like, "There are
Yeah.
Legos over there. Like, I gotta go check out the Zelda Lego set. I haven't seen it yet." They did not have it, which was weird because they had Mario and they had Animal Crossing. And so I'm like looking at the Nintendo stuff in the Lego area,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, where is this? I'm a little distracted. And then she just goes, "Is that what I think it is?" And I go, "What?" And I just look, and she's looking down, and I look, and right in front of the Mario Legos, there is a poop on the floor.
Oh no.
A real poop. And
No
we're like,
way.
And we were just like, well, time to go. Zelda's not here.
Wait,
Dave's not
And
here.
it was not a golden poop, Mike. It was not from finding all the Koroks.
It wasn't for
It was-
Hespu?
it was organic.
Nope, it was organic and it was still wet. And that's
Let's
all
just-
I'm gonna
Oh
say.
my
Oh, yeah.
Let's just say, because this happens down here in the South as well. Probably a cat.
So the way that you have set this up sounds like you're just gonna say people poop everywhere. In the
No, I was gonna say if our animal friends do. Okay,
Mhm.
so there is a possibility that a
yeah.
stray dog or a stray cat got lost inside the Target and said, "Hey, it is what it is."
Or,
Or
a
it
serv-
could've been-
or just a
could've been
regular dog, not a stray.
yeah. Yeah, or, well, not really a regular dog. One of them, a therapy dog, like or a CNI dog or something like that.
Oh my.
But yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
no, we had that discussion.
That's
We were really
not-
hoping it's an animal.
That's a great
Yes.
way to end the podcast.
No, well,
Poopy note.
also getting back to the Deku Tree, I do have a lot of things that I want to share with you guys, but stay tuned. I already finished the entire live streams. I'll be uploading it soon. Rainbow Love, shout out to you because she was there throughout the entire process. I was very, very frustrated with that, and she was, amazing, and we got it
She was
through.
a
So
light.
yeah,
A light.
yeah,
She was a
yeah.
light.
Yep.
She was a light. Yeah, rainbow light. Rainbow light.
Rainbow Light now.
Yeah, Rainbow is a light wherever she stands in our Discord, on all live streams. So yeah. All right, my friend. So I think that is the podcast, my friend. I think we had a really good time today.
Yeah.
So today, my friends, before we let you go, I need to also reintroduce the all-star cast that made everything possible. I'm going to go ahead and start with the great Paul Gill Network, who left early. You can find Paul Gill at Twitter with his numbers at Paul Gill Network on Twitter. You can also find him on YouTube. You can see all his videos, like him becoming real. You can see him becoming real. You can see him becoming real, and then you can see him becoming real. And I think he became Goku Super Saiyan one time. So you want
And
to
the
go
Green
check it
Ranger.
out? Green Ranger. So go
He
ahead.
has a Zelda pool.
He has a Zelda pool. He also has a Mario pool. He has a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna spoil it anymore. Check him out on YouTube and check him out
He's
on.
the real Nintendo Museum.
He's building
Twitter.
another pool just so it can be an Animal Crossing.
He's
pool.
building a beach with
Yep.
the Mario and everything. So
And we can go stay with him. He's gonna have
Yes,
his own Animal
where we
Crossing
can. I vote for yes.
podcast crossing. We just be making up stuff.
and of course he will be part of the Nintendo Switch 2 commercial coming up soon. Okay, that's not official. That's just us adding stuff.
We're not supposed to know that information.
Yeah, we're not supposed to know that. And of course,
Pikachu?
that's not what I was.
Pikachu.
Come on.
Welcome, Pikachu. You're late.
Oh my god.
I
One,
don't know, I
two.
thought we were just doing Pokemon.
All right, Zach, you can go ahead. This is Zach Andrick. Where can we find you, Zach? What you got going on this week?
What up, everybody? You can find me on X at YoungCalf Zach, and everywhere else at Zach Hendricks Media or Zach Hendricks Voiceover. Searching either one will bring you to everything. This week, excited to get Echoes of Wisdom. Excited
Nice.
to
Yes.
finally get a chance to play that.
Mhm.
On Thursday, I am leaving for a little trip because my girlfriend's brother is getting married. So I will not be here next week because I will be at that wedding. But I am excited to come back the week after with all sorts of Echoes of Wisdom information.
Awesome. So basically, you guys have permission to text and message Zach while he's at the wedding.
Yes.
So there you have it.
Tag
All
me in
right,
tweets.
Thank you, Zach, for being here today. Moving over to Lily from Hyrule. Lily, what you got going on and where can we find you?
Oh my, tomorrow, Echoes of Wisdom. Nintendo has provided me with a free product and happens to be Echoes of Wisdom. So I'm very excited to be streaming that for you guys tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow. And also, like I said, if you want to see more details on the Deku Tree specifically, I'm currently working on a video finally. But you're more than welcome to watch the entire live streams, but they're like 4 hours long. So I don't know if you have enough time for that. Other than that, I'll busy all the week because Echoes of Wisdom, basically. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. I can't believe that this is actually happening. But thank you very much, you guys, for being here. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see each other next week. Yeah, for sure. You can find me as Lily Hyrule on every social media, so you'll see it there. I also just today, I upload a small reel of this little package. So if you want to see it, it's on my Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and any of all the other social media. But that's me. Thanks.
Nice, the wisdom. And taking over, Lily from not Lily, correspondent to Hyrule.
That's me.
Jersey J. Go ahead, Jersey. Where can we find you? What you got going on this week?
Oh, so let's see here. You can find me on Twitter at DJ Joycey. I do not have a YouTube channel. I'm only here on Friday nights to talk about Zelda. Other things too, but mainly Zelda. So this weekend, me and Homegirl, we gotta go save Link.
Nah.
For the first time ever. It's like, Link, I'm coming to save you for a change. So I'm so excited to get into this. Got a couple other things going on this weekend, but when I will at least get through the first couple hours of this game. I have to. This is tradition.
Awesome.
You're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I will.
Yes.
I have a good feeling I will.
You can catch Joycey here every single Friday at the Nintendo Podcast. And of course, next Friday is our 100% edition of Zelda reaction and our first impressions to we are going to share our wisdom with you all on the game. When it comes to the Odyssey, you can find me here every single day from Monday to Friday at the Odyssey. What is going on here? What is this, Joycey? You must.
I'm laughing at Noodles chat.
Also, we'll talk more about. You're going to talk more about Echoes of Wisdom next week. But I just found out, this is unrelated to the game, but I'm a little salty. I collect Zelda coins that come out when the game comes out, and there wasn't one for Echoes of Wisdom, but there was for Australia and New Zealand.
It ain't
right. It ain't right.
And it's so cute. I'm gonna send it in the Discord.
eBay.
I'm very. I have
eBay,
to find
Mike.
this on eBay now.
Australia.
Yep,
eBay,
Australia.
Mike.
Oh my!
You gotta buy one now.
All right, so also over. All right, so you can find me here at the Odyssey Monday through Friday. Also, Fridays and Topic Podcast. You can also check out Indie Mania, the channel. We are uploading. Our first interview is up there. We got 2 more interviews scheduled for next week and then 2 more the next week. So stay tuned to that channel. There's giveaways every week on that channel. Here also on the channel, of course, you saw what happening today. Things are happening. I might receive more information on Switch 2. I will release it as soon as I get it. And yeah, make sure to subscribe, hit like for everything related to Nintendo Switch 2 news and Nintendo news in general. Oh, at the Odyssey Network. We have an Odyssey Network now because we have the Odyssey podcast, the news. We got Indie Mania. We got another podcast, and then we're working on a different podcast for next year. And last, don't remember that Thursday, December 12th. It's not a Friday. Put it on your calendar. Thursday, December 12th is our Nintopics podcast finale, pajama party, and giveaway extravaganza. We will be reacting to the Game Awards. That's the entire name of the entire event. So Thursday, Nintendo. Thursday, December 12th at the Odyssey, the finale pajama podcast. We'll be wearing our crazy pajamas, Nintendo themed pajamas. You can wear yours as well. And if you send us images of your PG rated pajamas, we'll show it on air while we do the podcast. And of course, we'll be playing games, board games, and stuff like that. We'll do stuff. We'll have popcorn and pizza and stuff. All right, my friends.
And we're gonna share
we're gonna
mystify you guys.
It's gonna be crazy.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be crazy cupcakes.
Pizza sound good.
All right, my friends. Thank you guys so much for watching. You have been more than amazing. We love you more than anything. You are the reason why we are here. Before we let you go, got 2 words we got to let you know. Number 1, don't give up.
Never give up.
Don't do
that
Never.
because we need you.
All right. The weekend is just
Important.
beginning. Rest up, get ready because the best is yet to come. And number 2,
Journey on.
Journey on.
Eat your vegetable.
Yeah.
Journey on.
And also eat your vegetables.
eat your
Yes, please. Drink water. Yeah. Bye.
Take vitamins.
I remember what Captain America.
Sleep well.
Do you remember
Spider-Man.
Captain Planet's saying was?
Oh.
Love the earth.
No, Captain Planet.
Yeah, that he was our environmentalist. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
about love the earth or something.
Zach is Googling his thing right now.
Yep. I'm like, what is it? I'm trying to figure out if this is the Don Cheadle one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Captain
no, I
Planet,
got nothing.
what was he? What was it saying?
By your powers combined?
No,
I don't remember because I
Yeah,
watched
I don't know.
it, but
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet.
that's when he was.
Oh, the final thing. The power is yours.
That was it.
Nintendo power.
Yeah, he said something about plants and trees and stuff, and the power is yours. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching. You guys have been amazing. You are awesome.
you guys are awesome.
We'll see
Good
you.
night, guys.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Let me find this.
Play
invite.
Echoes of Wisdom
Yes, please.
and
Yeah,
Octopath
please.
Traveler.
The nachos and the wisdom.
The nachos and the wisdom.
Eat nachos while you play the wisdom, y'all.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do it.
Why
Bye.
am I going? Why am I
Peace.
wax on, wax off?